Brazil is quickly approaching $3 billion in data center investments over the last few years. But what's next, and what challenges remain in this market? Joining me now at Data Economy's Finvest Summit in Zurich is Vitor Menezes, Secretary of Telecommunications and Digital Policies for Brazil. Vitor, thanks a lot for joining me.
Thank you.
What challenges are you aware that the data center sector faces in Brazil?
I think the biggest challenge in Brazil is the taxation. The taxation and the cost of energy. We are working to change this situation and make the taxation better to investments for another countries, for example.
Okay. Well, your corporate tax at the moment is 34%, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Excluding dividend taxes. Are there any plans to reduce this corporate tax, to maybe reduce it for specific industries like data centers or technology?
Yes, actually Brazil is working in a tax reform in Brazil, and we are creating an unique tax. I think this is going to be better for the data center field in Brazil, and we will improve the attraction to foreign enterprises.
Okay. But there isn't a value yet, a percentage for how much the tax will be.
No.
It's still work in progress.
No.
Okay. And what about energy costs? You mentioned energy costs. How expensive is energy?
Yes, it's too expensive because of the taxation. But there is a type of consumer in Brazil called free consumer that is going to be better to the data centers, for example. So you can buy energy for a better price.
Okay. And of course, the topic of the moment around the world is sustainability and energy efficiency, climate change.
Yes.
Where does Brazil stand on that in terms of supporting your technology industry?
Yes, there is several incentives to better energy, and Brazil is working to make this kind of generation of energy better, including taxation incentives and other things.
And looking at the digital policy side of your job,
Okay.
you also this morning you mentioned the new data legislation, data protection laws
Okay.
that are going to come into place in Brazil at some point.
Yes.
What's being arranged? What's the time frame? When is this going to be launched?
Yes.
Talk us a little bit through it.
Okay. We approved this law in 2018, and now in August 2020, the law is going to be functioning in Brazil, and we are about to create an authority to deal with the data protection. This authority for based in the GDPR, and it's going to be easier.
Okay. But it's not going to be exactly the same thing. GDPR is still worked out.
Yes. The GDPR, the Brazilian GDPR is working. Is going to work from August 2020, and the authority in the same day.
Okay, that's good. And if we look into the future now for the data center industry within Brazil, you've just had AWS announcing a $236 million data center. So I think that's probably the first large hyperscale investment in Brazil, I think.
Yes.
As foreign investment. Where do you want to be next? Because usually these guys, they go into Argentina, into Chile,
Yes.
and we have the other co-location players like Equinix and Realty building around Latin as well. But they are quite present in Brazil. We have the big Ashanti's acquisition of more than $1 billion last year.
Yes.
There's so much happening. So you have to have an idea, I'm sure you have an idea for you when you go with all this. So what's Brazil preparing for?
Brazil is increasing data users in Brazil, and we have a very strong digital economy. So I think that the data center enterprise is coming to Brazil very soon. And so we are going to prepare this field to attract more data centers and big data centers and big enterprises, big companies to Brazil. And what we are doing, taxation and energy.
All right, thanks a lot for your time. It's definitely an exciting time for Brazil in this industry. Don't forget you can follow Data Economy on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, and also visit the website on www.data-economy.com.